Another thing that you can remember about project, that project is something that is unique. It is not the same all the time. If it is the same, it is not a project. Maybe you have been told to go and do some projects. Maybe your project is to study characteristics of certain people in a given region, or you are trying to investigate or do research on why maybe some people, some children are dying when they are still young. Ama wamekonda. So maybe that is a project. You know very well that you've been sent to Western to go and look at issues to do with nutrition. Then that is a project. If it is something that you're going to do there forever, it is not a project. It is now your full-time job. It is not a project. Project is a short term. They are unique. Inamaanisha, you do this one, ikiisha, you start another one. So they might not be exactly similar. Those are projects. Sasa. And then we are saying that projects can be estimated. You can estimate the cost that you're trying to incur in that particular project. In business, you can be doing projects. Maybe as a manager, you can be told to run a project. Maybe you're trying to look at to onboard. You're trying to onboard people or train them on maybe mobile banking. You created a new mobile banking app and you want to train them. You know that you're going to run that project for a certain period of time. After that, it ends. So as long as it has some kind of characteristics like that, then now it qualifies to be a project. If it is you're going to do it for long, then it is not a project. Now, how do you manage project? And what are some of the things that you need to understand when you're managing project? Of course, you need to have some skills, or you need to be assisted when you are managing a project. The good thing with project, if it is in organization, is that you're going to involve people who have different skills. In a project, you need to involve somebody who is in construction. For example, kama ni ya construct, lakini kama ni ya app, you might involve somebody with IT experience. Another thing is that you need to involve people from marketing team so that they can be able now to do for you evaluation and tell you whether it is marketing. That project might also require feasibility study so that you can go and lay an example on the ground. You go and do your research on the ground, feasibility study, to check whether that project is viable. You might also need finance team to come and help you finance the project and also get the revenues, also keep records of revenues correctly. At the same time, in a project, you might also involve procurement department. Procurement department, because they're going to buy the materials that you'll be using in this particular project. So therefore, what we are saying, in an organization, then a project is a multi-departmental. It involves different departments. Now, the funny thing is that if you have a structure in an organization and you have different departments like HR, we have finance, management team, or finance, then we have production, we have maybe marketing, then you're going to have a project here separate. Normally, everybody under finance is normally managed by the finance manager. Everybody under product, everybody under marketing is managed by their own marketing manager. But if you are the head of finance, you are the head of project, you are the one who is foreseeing the project, then it means that we are going to allocate these members to come and join your team. Now, from that time, these members will no longer report directly to their head of departments. They'll be reporting to you as well. They might not report to these guys direct, but for that particular period, they'll be reporting to the head of project. So when your manager will now oversee the project, they are going to report to you and tell you, these are the costs, everything for that particular period of time, right? So that means that at that time, these staffs are going to have two bosses. One boss that is the line manager, and then we have the project manager. He has to listen to both of them at some point. Now, we have something called feasibility study. So in projects, you need to do a feasibility study. You go and test the project. If it is worthwhile, then you come and do it. So that means that it is easier to fail if you have not done feasibility study. Therefore, the examiner can ask you, why do projects fail? So projects fail because of lack of experience. The people who are working here do not have experience. Maybe lack of test. People don't do tests before they start. Maybe lack of proper or enough financing. maybe something like that. It can also fail because of non-planning, lack of proper plans. So project can fail because of such kind of things. Now, in exam, I want you to think about a real project, and I want you to think about a real project when you are asked an exam, like those buildings, like constructing maybe a market or any other thing. There must be coordination. There must be teamwork. There must be resources. There must be feasibility study where you are trying to test. There is a term that they use, I'll be able to share with you. There is a term that they use to call that test that you first do. It is like a dummy test. There is a term that they use, I'll be able to share with you as we proceed. I want to define this, the definition of project. I want to define this. And remember, a project also has a life cycle. It has the beginning and the end. So it is like human being. Kuna wakati imezaliwa, and there is a way it was conceived. There is a way it was conceived. Who came up with the idea? How was it conceived? And how is it being given birth to? Yani being launched, and then it starts operation. One thing that people normally forget about project is that once the project is over, they normally run without finishing properly. Ushaona watu wakijenga nyumba, and that can also be asked. When somebody is building a house, let's say somebody is building a house for me, what they should do, they should ensure that it is done completely. Then they hand over key to me properly. Lakini most of the time, utapata watu wanamaliza hii nyumba kabla ishe vizuri, wameanza ingine. The people that they are going to send to me to finish it are not the people that I engage probably, not even the head of that project. Anatuma tu mtu ndiye anakuja anafanya finishing, or probably niki-complain ama nimekataa kulipa, ndio yeye mwenyewe sasa anakuja. If I don't complain, they just go. They don't even ask themselves whether I'm satisfied with the work that is done. But he's the head of project. He doesn't care about how I feel in relation to their delivery. So let's define the term project here and say that project management is the application. You can now write project management is the application. Project management is the application. Project management is the application. Comma, no, it's the application of processes, comma, methods, and skills. Is the application of processes, comma, methods, comma, skills, comma, knowledge and experience. Application of processes, methods, skills, knowledge and experience to achieve a specific project objective. To achieve a specific project objective. To achieve a specific project objective. The application of methods, processes, skills, knowledge, and experience to achieve specific project objectives. According to the acceptable criteria. You know, kuna the criteria that was agreed between you and the client. So you're going to apply your skills. You're going to apply the methods, the knowledge, everything to ensure that you are able to achieve the objective according to the agreement. So project management is basically the work that involves a team of people that are intending to achieve a specific goal within a given constraints. You know, the constraints in project, when you are trying to run against time, the constant there is time, resources, right? The resources that you have at the time. So
Then pardon your statement, nione kama nimeandika vizuri.
I said that it is the application of processes, methods, skills, knowledge, and experience to achieve specific project objectives, according to acceptable criteria or within agreed parameters. Acceptable criteria or within agreed parameters. So let's now look at constituent of project management. Sorry, maybe you can define projects. Now, that is project management. Let's define project before we go to the constituent. So project is a time-bound activity. A project is a time-bound activity. A project is a time-bound activity taken up with a group of individuals. Taken up with a group of individuals. Taken up with a group of individuals. Yeah, in order, taken up with a group of individuals to put together a product. To put together a product, service, or an outcome. A product, service, or an outcome. Product, service, or an outcome. Product, service, or an outcome. So the activities that you're going to take so that you can put together a product, service, or an outcome is now what we call the project. So I want to say constituents of project management. Constituents of project management. Constituents of project management. Now, I say that projects can be the one that you can be told to go and do, like building or construction a house, but then there is also a project within an organization where you are an employee. So, constituents of project management. Constituents of project management. Number one, a project. Number one, project involves resource allocation. Project involves resource allocation, budget planning, and integration.
Deno, kwani hiyo constituency haina another synonyms, another word to mean the same?
It is not constituency, it is constituents. What makes up
Kumaanisha
a project? What makes up a project, or what are involved in a project? So,
Inyera.
so resource allocation, budget planning, and integration. Integration basically means that you bring together. So you need to have resources. You need to have budget that is well planned. Then you bring them together, or everything together. So it's about bringing everything together: the skills, knowledge, experience, resources, money, and everything. So those are the things under resources. Number two, understanding the scope of the project. Another thing that you need to know in project is you need to understand the scope, like in terms of time and areas of coverage. Ndio msikosane na mkubwa, baadaye unakuja anakwambia you are supposed to do this one here like this. Haujafanya hivi. You also supposed to do finishing hapa, haujafanya finishing. So what is the scope? So you need to understand the scope. So say understanding the scope. It involves understanding the scope of the project. Understanding the scope of the project with estimation, or with estimates, with estimation and with estimation and effective utilization of time and resources. Number three, it involves tackling breakdowns and setbacks. A project involves solving challenges. Sasa, tackling breakdowns, and setbacks in the process. Tackling breakdown and setbacks in the process, and identifying meaningful alternatives. Identifying meaningful alternatives. 2, meaningful alternatives to ensure the project is completed. You need to solve challenges, because as you start, you realize that sometimes you have a lot of problems and you need to find a way of solving them or looking for alternative solutions, so that at the end of the day, the project is completed as planned without compromising on quality. As planned without compromising the quality. So the key word here is that it's about solving the setbacks or handling the setbacks. It's about understanding the scope. It's about ensuring that you have proper allocations of resources and also budget. All right, the budget planning. So those are the key areas that you need to understand from there. Then the next one, managing supply chain for cost-effective utilization of stocks. Managing supply chain. That is involved in a project. Ushaona mtu amejenga nyumba alafu anaambiwa hii nyumba yako imeikaa. Nyumba, the space is the same, maybe rooms, number of rooms, kitchen, nini, everything is the same. Lakini yeye ametumia pesa mingi kushinda mingine. Yesterday there was a news that the parliament building, parliament chambers, they built a new one. The budget was 5 million, but at the end it has cost them not million, but 5 billion. That was the budget, 5 billion in 2013 when they were starting. At completion, it has cost them 9 billion. So what is happening? It means that people exaggerated the price of items because they know that for parliament, there is money there, the government in Anipa. So we exaggerate prices. So we are saying that in project management, you need to manage the supply chain, those who are supplying you with anything. The supply chain for cost-effective utilization of stock. Supply chain for cost-effective. So the other one is not cost-effective, the one for parliament. Cost-effective utilization of resources. For cost-effective utilization of resources. Somebody has some questions.
Pardon you, number 4, managing share for costs.
Managing supply chain. Sorry. Oh, I didn't say supply. There's supply here. Supply, not share. Supply chain for cost-effective utilization of resources. So when you'll be building your house, Florence, make sure that you manage. Ukiambia fundi aende anunue materials, atakukula zaidi. Mweke toza.
Sasa mwanamke wewe ndo unafaa ujenge nyumba ama ni mwanamke Deno? Mwanamke anajengaje nyumba?
Let's proceed. So number 5. Number 5. I should have given that example with you. Number 5 is implementing a process of sustained communication with all team members. So Ruth, let me give you an example with you. When you'll be running a project, it can be for constructing your house, or maybe you are the one who has been contracted to construct. So you need to ensure that there is a constant communication with the team members so that you don't duplicate things. Unaweza enda you go and buy cement, but now the person who is supposed to use cement has moved to another project. Alafu cement inaharibika. Ama maybe ameumia na ujui, ama maybe ame-travel. So you need to have communication. You need to know what resources are required at what point. So you say that you need to ensure or implementing a process of sustained communication, 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 implementing a process of sustained communication with all team members. That is number 5, implementing a process of sustained communication with all team members. Number 6, knowledge management to ensure decisions are taken at an appropriate time. Those are things that you need to ensure in project management. Knowledge management to ensure decisions are taken at an appropriate time. Knowledge management to ensure decisions are taken at an appropriate time. Knowledge management to ensure decisions are taken at an appropriate time. Decisions are taken at an appropriate time. Decisions are taken at an appropriate time. The last one, stakeholder management, in terms of keeping all interested parties in the loop. That is very important. Stakeholder management in terms of keeping all interested parties in the loop. Jo, unaweza kuwa unajenga bridge, but the people who are involved or the people who are affected are not involved. You end up building a bridge at a wrong place than where it's supposed to be. Have you seen politicians doing that? Nilienda Meru siku moja, naambiwa the current minister, I think is the current one, I think is the current minister. Yule anakuwa na scandal. Ameenda amejenga barabara, amejenga very good tarmac road, but in a different place other than where it was supposed to be. Yani the government approved that a road should be built there. Sasa yeye badala ya tarmac road that the public is using, akatama kingine imepitia kwa mlima hivi yenye inatoka kwake. The reason is the people in the area where the road was supposed to be built didn't vote for him at some point. So akasema, well, you guys don't like me. Sasa najenga mahali mjini nataka. So we are saying that you need to involve people in that project, involve people that are stakeholders. So stakeholder management in terms of keeping all interested parties in the loop and sending them updates on project development. Sending them updates on project development. Sending them update 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 on project development. Let's look at
that. My network ilikuwa kuna shida.
So ulikuwa umelog out. So I'm saying that stakeholder management in terms of keeping all interested parties in the loop, and sending them updates on project development. So why? Because it is important that their inputs and feedback are used or taken before completing the project. So every phase of the project, you need to let people know this is where we have reached, this is what we're trying to achieve, right? So that nobody can blame you. Ulijenga nyumba imekaa kombo. So let's
Edwin, nipigie hiyo statement number 6 because Dennis is too fast. Nimekuwa stuck as stakeholders management in terms of keeping all the parties then. Sijaelewa.
Where is that? You have written up to stakeholder.
I have written up to stakeholders management in terms of keeping all the parties. Then hapo ndo umeniacha.
All interested parties in the loop. All interested parties in the loop and sending them updates on project development. And sending them updates on project development.
Sawa, thanks.
So characteristics of projects. Characteristics of projects. So the first feature of a project is that it is a single defined purpose. A single defined purpose. Single defined purpose, end item or results. Or you simply say that projects are for specific time. They are very specific in terms of time, in terms of requirements and cost. Very specific, defined purpose, specific in terms of time, cost, and expectation or results. Number two, every project is unique. Najua, for example, huwezi jenga nyumba mbili zinafanana na zote ni zako. You can build one that looks like itself. You come and build a small one that looks like itself. It has specific purpose or objectives that you want to achieve with it. Kama ni shule, huwezi jenga the whole classroom class 1 to 8 with a certain design, certain space. Then you build another one the same to serve the same purpose. So we are saying that projects are unique. How? They have specific purpose. They have specific time frame. They have specific cost. If you're going to duplicate, and they need to be in a specific region, and that is why they're unique. So with same because in that primary tulijenga inakaa hivi, so it is not unique because the other one. No, it is unique, but because it is the only one found in that primary school. In that primary school, it is unique. So projects cannot be the same, exactly identical, in the same place, the same region, the same purpose. No. Projects are temporary activities. Projects are temporary activities. Project cut across organizational lines. This one I will explain here. Projects cuts across organizational lines. Meaning that one project involves people from almost all departments. almost all departments. So those lines, the departments are what we are referring to. We need finance person there, marketing there, everything. The next one is that organization usually has something at stake when undertaking a project. There's something they are expecting. There is a purpose. So the unique project activity may call for special scrutiny or effort because failure will jeopardize certain goals. So write that organization usually has something at stake when undertaking project. You have something at stake when undertaking projects. Projects involve unfamiliarity. Why are we saying that they involves unfamiliarity? Whatever you're going to meet as you run the project, they are so uncertain. You don't know. You are not familiar with what you're going to meet or how you're going to handle it. That's why we were saying they are not the same. Kwa sababu ukianza hivi, utakuwa unakutana na some setbacks that are challenging. So kila project iko tu na vitu zake. So every project is unfamiliar to you. Because a project differs from one and the previous one, right? From one and the previous one. Also, time when they are being done are different. Technologies used are different. The purpose and expectations are different. Expectation of stakeholders are also different. So these bring into play a significant element of uncertainty and risk. Brings significant elements of uncertainty and risk. You're not very certain about how it will end up. Unaweza maliza upate watu hawapendi hii project. Hawapendi. The last one, project is the process of working to achieve a goal. That is number 7. Project is a process of working to achieve a goal. Is a process of working to achieve a goal. It is a process of working to achieve a goal. It is a process of working to achieve a goal. Let's look at the importance of project, or basically importance of project management. Of course, the importance of project, project is like that building that you are building. So we have the project itself and we have the management process. Now, the building itself or the construction process that is going on, the importance is that it creates something like it helps to offer service. It can be leading to production of some quality goods. It can lead to creation of employment. It can ease your work. Maybe you're just trying to build a kiosk, or maybe you're building a market for mama mbogas, So that project, at the end of the day, there is importance of that project. It will help people. It helps people to create job. It improves their lives, right? Most markets nowadays, naona wanatengeneza vizuri mpaka wanaweka electricity. You can even close your cubicles as you go your way. So they even have securities there. So those are projects. The importance of these projects, when you achieve the goals, the society will be happy. But now, what about the management process? Why is it good to manage the project as you build? Why are you supposed to look at it, control, organize, allocate resources? Number 1, you are managing so that you can have clear focus and objectives. Clear focus and objectives. I want you to understand the difference between the project and project management. Project management is about planning the project, organizing materials or resources, allocating resources, staffing the team who are going to work there, ensuring that you control the cost. That is the planning. That is the management, sorry, that is the management. So you are managing the project development process. So the first thing is that it makes you, when you're managing it, you are going to focus on the objectives. Number two, realistic project planning. I'm sure you've heard of something called elephant project. Mtu ameanza kwanza, waheshimiwa MPs. Mtu anaanza project itakaa mpaka by the time term yake inaisha bado hiyo nyumba iko. Kuna mwingine amejenga nyumba ya primary. Hiyo nyumba inakaa kama anajenga college. It is so big, not complete. Na alianza the other term. So naambia watu vote me again so that I can go and finish it. These are relevant projects. You need to estimate the cost and you know the time frame. Within 2 years, you should be done with building or constructing the rooms. Maximum resource utilization. Maximum resource utilization. Maximum or optimum. So optimum, it means that the best, the highest. The highest or best. Best. Optimum is the best. The best possible. Maximum is the highest. So they basically mean the same. Then risk management. When you are running a project, you need to manage the project so that you can reduce the chances of having elephant project. Risk management. Managing project helps you to manage the risk. So risk management. Risk management. Quality control. Kila stage ukifika una review, unaangalia phase 1, is it done correctly? What are the challenges? Tunafaa kurekebisha wapi? Things like that. Then establish plan and schedule. It helps, plan management helps to establish plans and schedule. Establish plans and schedule. Establish plan and it also ensures teamwork. When you're managing projects, you ensure that people are working as a team. Number 8, keep control of cost. Control of costs. Keep control of costs. Keep control of cost. Then another one, building knowledge or improving in terms of knowledge. You know, one thing that is good with project, when you run a project, at the end of the day, you come out with more experience. And you see, there is no bad experience. There is no bad thing. Kama mlifail, it is a good experience to learn on how not to do things. Wakati umejaribu kujenga nyumba ama barabara na imetokea vibaya, it is a good example of how bad things look like. If you've done it well, it is a good experience on how to do it. So at the end of the day, you'll be learning. That is advantage of project management and also advantage of project itself. At the end of project, utakuwa umejifunza kitu. Project management, as a manager, at the end of the day, you'll be getting more experience. And that is why when you'll be looking for another job, they will be asking you, which kind of projects have you done that is similar to this? Which knowledge you have? Then another one, you need to ensure continuous oversight. So management helps to ensure continuous oversight. It helps to ensure continuous oversight. Ensure continuous oversight. Let's look at features of project and baseline surveys. So I want us now to look at baseline surveys. That is this. That is now the It is the sample that I was talking about, baseline surveys. It's the same as this feasibility study. Project baseline survey. Baseline survey. People. This thing is very important. It is very important. Examiners like those unique things in project management. And they can just come and ask you to explain what you understand by that term. Now, you see, we are saying that at the beginning of the project, you need to gain knowledge and know that this is something that is practical or not. Ukitaka kujenga mahali, lazima ujue kuna barabara ya kupeleka materials, maji utatoa wapi, and even if kama kwetu, ukitaka for example kupanda sugarcane, sugarcane, you want to start a business and umepewa shamba, utapata the neighbors wanakataa, tinga hizi pitia hapa. You have to bribe them ndio wakubali tinga ipite kwa hiyo shamba. Maybe you want to jenga house, you want to jenga nyumba yako, lazima ujiulize, how will I access my home? Unaweza jenga ukimaliza unaambiwa boss, hapa kuna barabara ya public, it is not a public land, huwezi pitia kwangu, kuna shida, kuna nyumba huwezi pitia. So you need to look at a lot of things before you start the project, and even the benefits that will come from it. So baseline survey, you can say that it is a study done. Baseline survey is a study done. It is a study done at the beginning of the project to get knowledge of the current status. It is done at the beginning of the project to get knowledge of the current status. It is a study done at the beginning of the project to get knowledge of the current status of an item of study. An item of study.
To get what?
To get knowledge. To get knowledge of the current status. To get knowledge of the current status. To get knowledge of the current status of an item of study. Current status of an item of study. To get knowledge of the status of an item. Knowledge of the current status of an item of study before a project commences. Before a project commences. So why is it important to come and study and understand what you want to do before it commences? Let's look at the importance of baseline study. They can call it study or survey. So if they say baseline study, please don't come and say that you taught me survey, but me nimepata study. It is a starting point for a project. That is number one.
Dennis, you're too funny.
It is a starting point for a project. Kuna wengine watakuja wapate mtihani. Unaona wameandika baseline study na anaangalia anasema, hii study sasa. Anasema mwalimu paper ilikuwa ngumu. Unamuuliza na ile question number 4 I taught you about baseline. Yes. Nilitufunza lakini sasa wanatuuliza study. Na kwa books tuko na survey. Najua hapo sasa ndio imenichanganya kidogo. Sasa mimi nakwambia, don't overthink. The keyword is project baseline. So it is the beginning, it's the starting point for a project. It is a starting point. Did I say point? It's a starting point. Point for a project. Point for a project. And by the way, nimekuwa nikifunza na sijaona last year waliset nini. Is there anything that I'm teaching here that came? Nani ako na hiyo paper ya last year? Why should I just teach and I've not even looked at the past paper questions? I might be wasting your time. I only have here up to August. Nani ako na ya December last year? Edwin is here. Edwin, do you have it? Stakeholder management in terms of keeping all the interested parties in the loop and sending the, yes, thank you so much. I like that maybe. So who was the last year's paper? Last sitting? Kama mna, mimi nitasema you guys are jokers. The papers are now together. They are normally from 2015 September to 2023 December. They are together. So kama una hiyo, inamaanisha ujai hata angalia hiyo paper, hata ujui kama uko ready for exam. And we only have 2 weeks to go. In fact, a week. Next week peke yake. Hii wiki imeisha. Next week na ni exam. Mwezi niambia ati hamjai angalia hiyo paper. That one I'll just pause and look for it. We have some few minutes remaining. So I want to say that the second importance is that it establishes the priority areas. When you have done baseline studies, it makes you understand areas to focus on, areas to give importance, to start with. Hata kwa nyumba, ukienda, unajua hapa, hii area inakonga hivi. So I should focus on this area. Njia kuna areas where nyumba imekuwa kwa mteremko kidogo. So unajua maji ikitoka juu itasumbua. So what you must deal with first is the wall and the floor. You are not worried about the roof. You need to ensure that at least those areas are done and drainage is done well. Those are priority areas. Establishing priority areas. Establishing priority areas. Stop planning. The next one, attribution. Attribution. So without a baseline, it is not possible to know the impact of a project. So you need to know, or attribution is basically attaching something to something else. So we know that when I see livelihood ya watu wa hii area ina improve, najua ni kwa sababu ya ile project. So how do I do that? I first need to go and do some tests and see, can this thing change life of people? Yes, it can. Now I'll start running my project, and as I do the project, I'll be able to see the changes in life. Then I said, okay, this is what I expected. So we are saying that you need to understand the impact of the project to the stakeholders. So a baseline study serves the purpose of informing decision makers what impact the project has on the target community. Let's look at the next one. It's called baseline tools are used for evaluation. Baseline tools are used for evaluation. Baseline tools are used for evaluation. You know, ukifanya evaluation is basically judging, comparing. So if, for example, I've done a baseline, that is like a feasibility study, then I'm now actually implementing. I'll be able to compare what I expected, like materials I expected to use and what I'm actually using. So I'll be able to balance the two. Say again.
Point number 2, establishing what? Areas.
Priority areas. Yani bado huku. And who is Mercy? I'm worried about Mercy. At least Winnie nimeona amelia, network nini stima imepotea. So I know she's okay. But what about Mercy? Then donor requirements. The other one is donor requirement. Donors want to see, as you present the report, they want to see, did you do any study, donor requirements? donor requirements. Those are, so let's look at now project life cycle. Project life cycle. Sio umeona hapo? You are asking about project life cycle. Yes. So one thing that I can assure you, the examiner can set any question from anywhere, from any topic. So I will not tell you to focus on one topic and leave the other. As you have seen, topic number 2 iko, topic number 1 inakujanga, 3, 4, zote. So, project life cycle. So the first stage in project is project initiation. Project initiation. So this is where you come up with the project. Who came up with the idea? Who initiated the project or the idea? This is a person who will be thinking about how it can be run, how it is going to help people. You come up with the goals, the resources, and like that. What do you want to achieve? The scope, the resources you want to use, the roles of each team member. So you can say that at this stage, this is where the project is defined. It is where the project is defined, the goals are set, the scope and resources are also determined. Goals are set, scope and resources are determined. And roles of each team, role of this team is also defined. So that is where you will say, wewe utafanya hii, mimi nitafanya hii. After that, we have planning or project planning. Project planning. Of course, you know planning, what it means. I won't go through that too much. Project execution. This is the now actual execution. So first planning, planning is a phase where you need now to put what the layout or the framework into paper, how things will be run, the quantities, the sources of funds or resources, who are going to be involved. You now put them down, the budgets, the timeline, the milestone, the phases, materials that are necessary. So planning should be done after the base survey, because you use the knowledge in baseline survey to come and plan. Execution is now the actual performance or the actual implementation of the project. Then after you have executed, that is after actual implementation, you need now to monitor the project to check if it is going. You monitor and control the project. You know, when I execute as you monitor, every phase, am I getting what I expected? You track everything that you're doing, keep track of all the resources, everything that you're doing. So monitoring should be done hand in hand with the execution. So project monitoring. Project monitoring and tracking. Project monitoring and tracking. Number 5, project closure or termination. Project closure or termination. Now, you remember there is a question they were asking you, termination by integration. Najua unaweza terminate project because imeisha, whatever objective you wanted to achieve has been achieved. You can integrate unaachana na hii, unasema badala ya kuendelea na hii si tuziweka pamoja, so you joined it with a different one. That is also termination. Ulikuwa unapambana na hii na unapambana na hii, then you integrate them. For example, you have two colleges, you are running in the same time. Unasema, can we just make it one? Instead of having online classes separate in a different college and physical in a different college, can we just have them as one? So in this stage, it is the final part of the project life cycle, where you now need to come to closure. You need to deliver to the client the final project and get your settlement for money. It is a phase where the project life cycle ends. You conclude the project activities, you finish the product or service, and hand it over to the new owner. So you need to be able to check as you hand over that it is meeting the expectation. It is also the time now to celebrate your hard work and just have a party. Just celebrate and have a party. So let's look at the project planning and organizing. Time na inaenda, but sisi pia tu project planning and organizing. Project planning and organizing. So this basically planning on how the project is being run. So you can say that project planning is part of project management. Project planning is part of project management. Project planning is part of project management, which relates to the use of schedules, such as which involves the use of schedules. Is part of project management, which involves the use of schedules, such as Gantt charts to plan. Gantt charts. Gantt charts. Gantt charts. Such as Gantt charts to plan and subsequently report progress. To plan is part of project management, which relates to the use of schedules, such as Gantt charts to plan. Gantt charts to plan and subsequently report progress with the project environment. And subsequently report progress with the project. And subsequently report projects with the project environment. So it is a process where you need to ensure that it helps you to ensure that resources have been used well. It helps you to ensure that it has been delivered at the right time and it is successful. And of course, organizing now involves ensuring that resources have been allocated and coordinated on the best way possible to ensure that there is optimum utilization. You know, when you organize things well, there will be space. Hata kwa nyumba ukipanga vitu vizuri, unaona kuna place unaweza tembea. Si ati umepatana na sufuria pale kwa mlango, ukienda kwa bedroom, napata ugali ilikuwa imebaki pale kwa bedroom. Na unapatana na vitu zingine, nguo chafu, nguo kwa mlango. Kitchen, umeweka hapo woofer kwa kitchen, unajientertain huko ama TV.
Yeah.
So you need to be organized. Let's look at what are the components of a project plan. Components of
Then they know pardon you organizing. How is it coming out?
I'm just saying that project organizing is all about ensuring that resources that you have been allocated and coordinated well, so that you only bring what you require at the right time, at the right place. When you are organized, you'll find that you only buy resources that you want when you want them. You don't send mtu wa plumber aende na bado hata hujamaliza kujenga nyumba, bado unafanya foundation. Right? Things need to be in order at the right place at the right time. Ndio maana nimepeana example. Hata kwa nyumba yako, you need to be organized person. Okay? So, as you plan, you are going to plan the resources. You need to organize yourself so that you don't have scarcity in those resources. You need to use the resources when they are required so that you don't buy things that you don't want and you don't have shortage. You let them work in harmony. You let them work in harmony. So wakati mtu wa stima anafanya kazi, mtu wa plumbing pia anafanya kazi. Si ati stima amemaliza ameenda, plumber anakuja anabomoa, anakata wire, ati anaweka pipes. Let these people work together, organize so that there is harmony. Aya, what are the components of a project plan? Components of a project plan. Some of the things that are involved here or makes up the plan. Number one, the scope. You need to plan the scope of the project. That is something that you have to plan with. Number two, budget. How much money do you have? Number three, timeline. So when you're planning, in your plan, you need to have those ones, timeline. So you need to scope, timeline, budget. And of course, budget here include the project, the resources. Sasa, resources are so many, human resources or human capital resources. We have money, we have materials and all that. So what is project? Why is it important? Why is it important to plan a project? So let's look at why is project planning important. Why is project planning important? The importance of project planning. Importance of project planning. Number one, it facilitates communication and provide a central source of information. Facilitate communication and provide and central and provide a central source of information for project personnel. So it facilitates communication and provide a central source of information for project personnel. Number two, it helps the project sponsors to know what is required. Project sponsors and other stakeholders.
Deno hiyo ni for project personnel ama?
Yes, personnel. What is required. Number two, we are saying that it helps project sponsors and other stakeholders, to know what is required. The next one, it helps to identify who will perform certain tasks, like who will perform what tasks, when and how. It helps to identify who will perform what tasks, when and how. Sio nimesema, you don't bring plumber when the house is not ready. And how. Who will perform what task, when and how. When and how. When and how. It enables effective monitoring and control of a project. That one is right. Florence, maliza haraka ufike hapo, najua uko nyuma.
Done.
So listen, in August 2023, question number 5, they were asking, outline 5 reasons why organizations conduct baseline surveys before implementing a new project. That is question number 5. Question number 5C. Outline 5 reasons why organizations conduct baseline surveys before implementing a new project. So number 4 here, we are saying that it enables effective monitoring and control of a project. It enables effective monitoring and control of a project. Enables effective monitoring and control of a project. It enables effective monitoring and control of a project. It enables effective monitoring and control of a project. Enables effective monitoring and control of a project. It helps to manage risk. Planning helps to manage risk. Planning helps to manage risk. It helps to get feedback or generate feedback that is useful for next project. It has to get or generate feedback that can be useful in the next project. Wakati umefanya project number 1, you'll be able to get product that is good, feedback that is good, that can help you do the next project. It will help you to get the estimation. So when you want to do another project, you estimate, unasema ile tulikaa hivi. Maybe because of inflation, we can increase it by 20%. So it helps you. It
helps to get or generate income then.
Income sijasema, nimesema feedback. It helps to generate feedback or get feedback useful for the next project planning. It helps to generate feedback. It helps to generate feedback. It helps to generate feedback useful for the new project planning phase. For the new project planning phase. For the next project planning phase. For the next project planning phase. So I think we can stop there. We have 1 more hour, just 1 hour to finish that topic. That one we can do either tomorrow or Friday or Saturday. What do you suggest? Tomorrow hakuna FR. Can we come and finish that topic? Alafu over the weekend tumalize topic number 10. Tuone vile case study iko. Ama mnaonaje? We can come and finish this tomorrow. Over the weekend we do topic number 10.
Akide nusu tuachie tu hizo classes za FR tukue tukisoma FR aki. Imagine FR it requires calculation. Unajua 2 hours you cannot be able. Unafaa tukae chini usome.
No problem, thank you. I don't have a problem with that. So the same can be done with time ya FM na time ya LM. So that means that the next class ya LM ni next week, Tuesday and Thursday. Is that okay? Huh? Lawrence.
Yes, mwalimu, pole. Yes.
Ruth, Lawrence is suggesting that we should leave the time for FR.
Aki.
If that is the case, then even for FM, we need to leave the time for FM. Same with it. Yeah, FM here needs its time. Why FR or not FM? So that next week we meet at the time 11, which is Tuesday.
Deno, listen. Deno, nilikuwa tunasema tomorrow tuachie hiyo time tu ya FR. Alafu Saturday just take pick, it is okay.
My question is, why would we have class on Saturday and not tomorrow?
Sawa. Tufanye tu.
I'm just asking because, listen, my expectation is that we should be able to finish mapema ndio niwaache msome, lakini sasa ukipostpone hivyo then it means that tunamaliza syllabus kama tumekaribia mtihani. Hata hii kama singekuwa tough to fix vile tumefix hivi, tungekuwa mbali. Nakumbuka mahali mlikuwa, if madam was to follow the timetable, I don't know where would you be. But I just decided now to fix hata kama wengine wanalia. And now we can see some lights at the end of the tunnel. Sawa, so see you. Tumalize hii kitu tuanze revision. Yes, mi naona hivyo, niwape nafasi ya revision baadaye. Maliza na hii kitu. At least ukifanya revision utakuwa sawa.